Today I'm talking about erosion and deposition. Erosion is the movement of weathered materials. They are transported via precipitation, water sources, ice, and gravity. Now, what's the difference between weathering and erosion? Weathering comes before erosion. Weathering is the breaking down of rocks and minerals. So first weathering, then erosion, and then deposition. What is deposition? Deposition occurs when the eroded materials are carried down a stream or river. When the materials eventually settle, the larger particles will stay underneath and the smaller will go on top. This is called sediment. There are 4 agents of erosion and deposition: water, wind, glaciers, and gravity. When we're talking about stream erosion, we first have to talk about how a river is formed. Rivers are formed from rain falling upon highly elevated places like mountains. The water then travels down to lower elevation due to gravity. Although not all rivers are the same, they all have different parts that create a river system: a source, a stream, groundwater, which is water from the ground that goes into the streams, tributaries, which are other streams, and a mouth where the river will end. Erosion affects the development of a river channel when water seeps into the ground in the process, which makes it weather. The particles are then taken into the water to the end of the river. There are 2 types of stream deposition. Delta will form into a fan shape because of deposition, and braided is multiple streams that are separated by a large amount of sediment, which is why they have a braided pattern. The factors that affect the rate of erosion and deposition are the size of the sediment and the speed of the water. Also being a part of the water agent is wave erosion. When a wave strikes a cliff, the drastic change in pressure causes the rock to splinter. You can see the wave entering the crack and exiting very quickly, which causes stress. As a result, the rock will break off. The process of wave erosion also creates beaches. The factors that affect the rate of wave erosion include the energy of the wave as well as the size of the sediment. Moving on to glaciers. Glaciers are composed of densely packed snow that moves due to gravity. They are usually formed atop mountains where it is usually cold year-round. As the glacier moves across the ground, it will pick up sediment, and when it gets warmer, the ice will melt and all the sediment will be deposited. This deposited sediment is called a moraine. The factors that affect the rate of erosion and deposition is the size of the glacier and the temperature. The next agent is wind. Wind erodes the land by detaching small particles on the Earth's surface. It takes these particles of soil or sand and transports them to different locations. There are 3 different types of wind deposits. There's suspension, where small particles are moved in the air parallel to the Earth's surface. The particles drop when the wind stops. The next one is saltation. This is when particles bounce along the surface. This will pick up more particles on impact. The last one, soil creep, is when larger particles roll across the surface. The factors that affect the rate of wind erosion and deposition include the speed of wind and the size of the particles. The last agent of erosion and deposition is gravity. It's the force that pulls all matter to the ground. It is why glaciers move, water falls, and sediment settles. Gravity is responsible for these mass movements: rock falls, mud flows, and landslides. The factors that affect the rate of erosion and deposition are elevation and density.